Hello, everyone. I hope you're all well. And, I know that the time is going on and it can become a little bit like, you're dragging your feet and it's just trying to just slowly go somewhere. Of course, you hear so much indecision from the leaders, so called leaders, here, there, everywhere. But then it always has to come back to what's important important to you as it relates to your life, to your existence. Because, there have been things, it's like, this is bad. We have to go back to work. We have to do this. We have to do that. And there's many different thoughts about that. If there's no economy, what is that going to be like? They're already talking about if, all the people who would not have food, the people who would go hungry, what would that be like? And we can talk about all these things all day long. There's a lot of speculation. And of course we don't need to go hungry in this world. There's plenty of food. And it has to be managed. You cannot have hoarders. You cannot have people who are saying, I want it, I want it, I want it. And we saw that. We saw that with toilet papers. And people were hoarding toilet papers, toilet paper rolls. Why would you want to hoard toilet paper roll? I don't know. And I just recently did a podcast interview. And, the Indians have definitely got the whole world beat on that issue because a lot of them don't use toilet paper. They don't need to use toilet paper. So, what is the reality at this point where you've got so much noise that's going on and everywhere? Well, the reality is still inside of you, and it's just as beautiful. Regardless of the picture being painted, regardless of the picture being what it is, there is a reality that is very simple and that is very beautiful. And that reality is that you are. You weren't. There was a time you weren't in this world. Now you are. And there will be a time that you won't be. And the reality says, but right now you are. Do you know who you are? Do you know why you are here? Do you know what is going on with you? Because whatever happens outside in this world, if you can hang on, if you can be. And I remember, it was quite a few years ago, unfortunately, but there was a wonderful gentleman, and he used to do survival training. In fact, he had done the survival training for the first crew that went to the moon. And his whole thing was that somehow you as a human being, ultimately have to keep it together. And then if you can be in that good shape, you can look around you and you can try to make sense of whatever there is around you. And one of the examples that he used to give quite a bit was that there was a girl, and she was on an airplane along with a whole bunch of people, and the plane crashed. And she's the only one who made it out of the forest. Everybody else tried or whatever, but a lot of people perished during the crash, but she survived. Somehow she survived. And this becomes the focus of our life. This has to be the focus of our life. Understanding and working with those elements that we are all about, that truly define us. Yes, they may be hard times. because of this coronavirus. And that would be because the way we have set it up. It wouldn't be the way nature has set it up, it is the way we have set it up. We want certain things to be a certain way. We're not willing to change. And this is one of those things, are we going to go back to being our old selves, polluting everything and doing it the wrong way? And the answer to that is unfortunately yes, because we don't like to be different. We like to do the same old, same old, same old, same old, same old, same old. When cars came, there was a lot of people who couldn't relate to the cars, who couldn't relate to what that was all about. And they were predicting that this wouldn't last very long, that this is really bad. It makes horrible noises. It's just awkward. Horses are so much better, and so on. So you always have had this tussle between people who are everything is going to be bad, and we're all going to die, and everything is going to be terrible. And then those people who can realistically take a look at it, because one of the things what you have going for you is the human ingenuity to persevere through the bad times. We've been through World War I. Many people, many millions of people got killed in it. World War II, even more got killed in it. We had the Spanish flu, 1918. A lot of people got killed in it. And there's so many similarities between that story and what's unfolding with coronavirus now. But what about you as a human being? What about your understanding? What are you bringing to the table? What are you bringing, first of all, to yourself? What are you offering to your being? In the midst of all this, when I finally got from Recife to Florida, and then Florida was nice and warm. But then when I got to Los Angeles, it was cold. And it has been cold. Every day it has been cold. Some days it's been rainy. But even those days when the sun is shining, the wind is very, very cold. And just now that warm is starting, and the temperatures are starting to inch up towards 74, 75, 80, so on. And the spring is here. And there's all these little birds that are making their nests. They're singing. There's all these flowers. There's all these plants. There's the greenery. And here, especially in this part of the country, where not too long ago there was a horrible, horrible fire. And somehow the nature is coming back and trying to erase every evidence of that fire ever was. And it's doing a really good job, because after the fire, when I saw it, it was pretty desolate. There was nothing there. And now it's just so much green that's just flourishing. So when I look around me and I see these birds, and these birds but they don't have a lot of education. Their education is what their mom and dad have taught them, and whatever little experience they have in their life. But they're going on. They're not caught up in these stupid debates. They're not caught up in these really, really weird ways of looking things. I mean, should there be debates? Yes, there should be debates. But they should be of valid debates. They should be of valid reasons and valid things, not somebody's fear. They shouldn't be based upon somebody's very dark way of looking at something. But realistic. Realistic is good. And when you don't know, you don't know. And so maybe you put your best foot forward, and it is not something that is a popular decision. I mean, coronavirus is not a popular virus, let's face it. And what it is doing is not very popular either. And so the decisions that have to be taken to curtail it, I am not surprised, are not very popular either. But we have to do as collectively, all the people around the world, because it is for the first time that we're all tied together. Whether we are rich, whether we are poor, this coronavirus doesn't look at it. Whether we are educated, whether we are uneducated, it doesn't look at it. Whether we are powerful, whether we are weak, it doesn't look at it. Anybody. And we're all one. All of a sudden, we're all one. But all we want to do is divide and divide and divide and divide. And we've been dividing. We have taken land that had no boundaries, and we have drawn arbitrary boundaries and said, that's mine, and that's yours, and you're there, and you're this, and you're that. And when you fly, there's no boundaries. It is the way it is. You fly from one area to another area. Birds do it all the time. They don't go through, here's my passport. Can I come in? I'm going to be coming in for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. No. So at some point in time, we have to take a look at what are we up to. Polluting the planet, abusing the planet, abusing the resources, and not leaving anything for the next generation. Because everything is hoard, 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 hoard. Everything is mine, 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 mine. And nobody's looking at what the consequences of that's going to be. And you as a human being have something really wonderful to offer, not only to yourself, but to the whole mankind. And those things are kindness, your generosity. These things, your clarity, your hope, not only for yourself, but for the whole mankind. You can give that. You can be that. This is a gift. Only when you have enough of it can you share. When that kindness is in your heart, then you can share that kindness with other people. And when you do, it doesn't deplete any kindness from you. It multiplies it. It gets more and more. Hope, not only for yourself, but for all those who are around you. Understanding and empathizing with the world that is around you, so you can be a part of this world. So you can be a part of this, to contribute something to this world, not just take. Because that's what people do, is they just take. But to give because you have enough of it, because it is overflowing from you. And then this can be a wonderful place. We would have created a heaven, each one of us, not only for ourselves, but for all mankind, regardless of their beliefs, regardless of what they think, regardless of how they think. Create a little heaven for all of us, for as long as we are on this beautiful earth, that we have created the heaven, not only for us, but for all the creatures, for all that are here. And I don't know, maybe it's time to think like that. And the reason why, because this is a big reset. And how is it that we're going to be when we go back to being normal, to be in that normal situation? Because this is time to ponder those things, time to think again, not just because we were there. Does that make them right? No, it is a great time to put the house back in order. It is a great time to come home and say, okay, let's do this right. Now we know how to do it wrong. Now let's see if we can do this right. I know that's asking a lot. I know that's asking a lot of this world. I know there are some people who will agree with me, some people who will disagree. No, no, it's gonna be this, it's gonna be that. But after all, and I have given this example many times, that when that challenge came, and this was the country, America, that they had to go to the moon. They wanted to go to the moon. There's a lot of people who said it cannot be done. It cannot be done. Did those missions, were they successful going to the moon because of those people who said it cannot be done? Or were they successful because of those few people who said, yes, it can be done? If history has something to teach us, this world belongs to those who have the courage, who have the understanding to make it go forward in a beautiful way, in a way that fulfills your heart, that truly nobody is being, taken advantage of, but truly to let everybody feel themselves, to feel what this life is all about, to feel the gratitude, to know yourself, to live this life consciously, and to have a heart full of gratitude, to go forward with those most powerful tools of understanding, and see what happens. I mean, just to see what happens, even if it's maybe everybody just wants to see this world just totally unhealthy and destroyed and whatever. But to see how it can be, how beautiful it can be, that we respect each other because we know how to respect ourselves. And it is not about I, because you do share this planet with all those creatures and all those people. It really is about we. But it's only a strong I that can respect we. A weak I cannot understand the concept of we. And when we don't, it shows our weakness to ourselves. So I hope that you stay well, stay healthy, and be enjoying this life that you have. A lot of different things are being worked on, and at some point, I think we're gonna need to regroup, because when I came to through Florida, I just started making the first, using my iPhone, started making the first broadcasts, and I upload them to a person who is in Florida, who does all the editing, and so nothing is set up, and now we need to set up for the training, especially with the PEP, which I think is going to be very exciting. If we go that way, a lot of feedback has to come, and it's kind of like, I don't know what final shape it'll take, but it's far, you get the training one day, then you have the second day for reflection and writing to me what you're thinking, what your reflections are, and then I take some of those reflections, not all of them, some of those reflections that I think are important, and share them with you. So it's like one day training, and then one day for the reflections to come in, and then one day to share those reflections, and then again the training, and then one day off to get all those materials. And so we'll have to set up virtually all these places where that when the responses come, when the feedback comes, when the reflections come, they can be processed and sent virtually to me. So it's something that we haven't done in the past, but I think it could be a fun challenge to have. And training is, I think PEP training is just really wonderful. So I'm looking forward to that when that comes through. And it's going to take a few days to set it up, but we'll see when that time comes. So thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.